we're going to imagine that we're in the Joseon dynasty of Korea. So sometime somewhere in the 1800s. I don't know when King Sejong was king. I don't know. Maybe that's a good king.
That's a Jane.
Yeah. That's Jane. Jane will know, right? Yeah, somewhere in the mid 1800s, right? Yeah. So we are going to pretend that we are in the palace, in the kitchen of the king. And so we're going to prepare two of his favorite dishes. So that's what we're going to do today. So just, take yourself back. Of course, we have a lot more amenities than they used to have, right? They used to do things on charcoal, and they had these big charcoal chunks they used to use and heat up the kitchen, and so this is my charcoal right here. So, so we're going to start with a dish. It's called Shinseollo, and everybody on Zoom will probably get links to the recipe, but everybody here has a copy. It should be the second one. I stapled it all together, so it should be the second one. So Shinseollo, it sort of means, I don't know word character for character exactly what it is, but it means like a new spirit. There was a man who he was a scholar, and he fled to the mountains, and he lived there like a hermit, and he had one pot, and he cooked everything in it, and that's how it sort of started. And then when he went back to Seoul into civilization, he decided to create this dish officially and present it to the king. So, and obviously the king liked it, so it has now become one of the more favorite palace foods. And we usually have it for like big birthdays. My mother-in-law insisted on every birthday, but so my kids, they know how to do it too, I'm sure. It's quite labor intensive, I'll tell you that. So, and I'm not a good salesperson for it, but I'm not sure that each of the ingredients that goes in, that we have to make each one, actually tastes better by itself, I think. But it's like a casserole, and it's all put together with a little bit of broth. And so you will get to taste a little bit of it. And it's made in this, it's put in this, I put a candle in there, in this big pot. And sometimes this pot itself is called Shinseollo. They just decided, it just became a name for the pot itself. And it's made out of brass, but a lot of times it's made out of silver also, but then I won't be able to pick it up, right? If it's silver, it'd be so hot. So I put a little tea light in there. So after we put the food in, it should keep it warm. But the broth is boiling over there, so in the kitchen. So Karina will help us with that later. So I'll show you the inside. Here. Okay, so I don't know if you could see, but the inside of the pot looks like a bundt cake dish or something, And in the middle there is an opening all the way to the bottom, and that's where they put the hot charcoal in. Yeah, but since I'm not going to handle charcoal today, I just put a tea light in there. Her idea, actually. Hers is good. So, see? So that's what we're going to do. And we'll each get to taste. So, this dish requires most of the food to be made into what we call jeon. Jeon is, what is jeon? It's just covered in egg. Everything is cooked in egg. So whatever ingredient it is. So I have prepared some already, which I will show you. So we have the protein. First of all, this is sole, fish sole, and I'll show you how I cut it and put it in flour first and then egg, and then we fry it. So that's what I did. So, and then the other thing, shrimp, just a piece of shrimp. And I did the same thing. And the other protein is on the other dish. Okay. And the last protein are little meatballs. Little meatballs. They're tiny meatballs. They should be tinier than this. I'm sorry, but they're all kind of ugly shaped, but you're not going to judge, right? Little meatballs. So the vegetables, I have green onions, and everything is dipped in flour and egg and fried. So everything. And zucchini, I cut the zucchini. I'll show you how I did that too. And last but not least, I made these it's watercress. I'll show you how it's done too. It's watercress, and I put it in flour and I put it on the pan, and then I pour the egg over it. So it kind of stays together. So in order to assemble it, we'll have to cut it all into the same size because they have to geometrically fit into this pot like this, all standing up. And then we have ginkgo nuts. What else did I put in there? I think that's it. And it's all going to go into the pot, and then the broth is poured into it. So that's what it is. So I will demonstrate a couple of them. So the fish, you can see this, right? Yeah, okay. I will show. Can you see it up there? Oh, I should move this. Okay. This I will move. Okay. So for the fish, I bought fillet of sole. In probably your recipe, it says cod, probably, because Koreans like cod. But I found the sole stays together better. Cod sometimes flakes apart, and it's kind of thick, so it's harder to slice. But I slice it like a sashimi slice. So I start on one end with a sharp knife, and diagonally, so you slice it into it and make diagonal, so it becomes very thin. That one's too small. But that's like a sashimi cut, like this. That's better. So that's how it's done. And then it'll be put in the flour, a little bigger. You don't want it too thick, because then the egg will get too dark when the fish is ready. So you want everything to be sort of pretty. Finish this. Okay. And then the shrimp. Devein it, take the tail off, and I boiled it. I just boiled it in water with a little bit of salt. And then for this one, it's too thick, the shrimp, so I'm going to slice it in half through the thickness. So I'm going to take my knife without slicing my finger. Now I have 2 pieces. That's how I did it. So do the rest. Okay, we'll start with all the protein first. So then, maybe Karina, you can help me with this. Over there. Here, let me put this in there. Goes in the flour. I put a little bit of salt in the flour so that it's flavored. I didn't put it directly on the fish. It's easier that way, I think. Okay. We'll coat it in the flour, and then we'll put it in here. Okay. So you have to coat it quite well. And then the egg will get thicker and thicker as you cook more, but no big deal. It's okay. It comes out fine. So it's just nicely coated on both sides. And you drop it in the egg. I'll just cook a couple of them for you to see. It doesn't take long, so you have to watch it. We don't want anything overcooked. Can I have? Oh, this is one. Okay. And I like to use a spoon or a fork is better too, actually, but just to turn the fish around, turn them around in the egg. This is just straight egg, so both yellow and white. And I'll take a spoonful with a little bit of egg and I put it on the grill. So 300 degrees is what I'm using, and it seems to be perfect. So if you do it in a frying pan, but it's harder to control the temperature. So, and I usually do it this way, then you can do more at the same time. So, get this guy. Okay, I've got one more. Okay, so we'll let that sit and cook. Now, I'll show you how I did. This is watercress. So I just washed it and cut the thick stem part off by hand. And I'll put it actually in the flour a little bit. Just coat it, not all the way on this one, but just enough. Turn it around and just try to get a little bit of flour on there. And then you put the whole thing on the grill and spread it out. Okay. Let it sit for a little bit. Occasional oil is good, and canola is best because we don't want to add any flavor. Sesame oil I love, but it adds too much flavor. So later on, you don't want it to taste like sesame only. So canola, vegetable oil, something like that is probably the best. Okay. So the fish is ready to turn. There. It's very pretty and yellow. That's what we're aiming for. But we want to make sure that the fish is all cooked. So sometimes it gets a little browner, but you know what? It's okay. It's going to sit in the soup. You won't be able to see it. Okay, and then for the watercress, I just take the egg mixture and I pour it over it. You don't have to cover it all the way. It'll get stuck to each other, so that's what it is. Okay. So the shrimp is already cooked, so it's fine. The fish needs another 30 seconds. So, okay. These are fine. Thank you. You know, I'm really terrible at using the chopstick, by the way. I do it wrong, and then I can't pick things up very well. Never learned properly. Okay, that needs a little bit. So now I take my chopstick and I sort of try to divide it into hunks, so it's easier to manage. The egg is still too runny, so I'm going to leave it here for a little bit longer. Okay. Okay, so then the other thing I wanted to show you was the meatballs. So it's just ground beef, regular ground beef, and I put what did I put? Soy sauce and garlic and a little pepper and a little bit of mirin. And that's it. And I'm not sure what the recipe I gave you says. That lady says, but that's all I did. It doesn't have to be super flavored, but you know, garlic goes into everything, Korean food. So you take a little piece and make a little meatball. So little meatball. throw it in the flour. My mother-in-law used to be able to make 3 little meatballs in her hand at the same time. I don't think I'm that clever. She used to do 3 of them, little take, and then go do it together without smooshing them all. But mine gets all smooshed somehow. So, yes.
So, is this a dish that like multiple people are working on at the same time in the kitchen?
Yes.
Like a family? No.
Yes. Usually when there's a big holiday or something festive, the whole family, cousins and whoever else comes to the house where the party's going to be held at, and everybody's helping, probably for a few days. So, yeah, probably for a few days, right? Yeah, so we have memories of New Year's Eve, spending New Year's Eve doing all these things. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting, but we did it. At the time, I probably shared this, at the time I complained furiously, but, oh, now I'm turning it over. See, the egg, it's very pretty. So, with the green. Yeah, I complained furiously in the past, but you know what? It's come in handy now. And now I enjoy it, actually, so. I don't know about you, but I really like watercress. And I think everybody knows from the movie, it's called Minari. Seen the movie Minari? Yeah. That grandma was growing this by the stream. She brought the seeds from Korea and grew it. It's a relative of the watercress. It's very close. So I just, they don't sell Minari here. It's very hard. So just watercress. So, okay. So then I think we have enough, so we won't finish this. Okay, so now the part of the assembly begins. Thank you. And it is labor intensive, but this is a fish board. Thank you. Everything is coated here, so I have to make sure. Okay. So what we do is get the whiteboard. It's nice, everything's color coded, huh? I should do that at home. And we'll take the pot. Oh, it's getting warmer. Good. Okay. Carissa, it's working. If I put it here, it won't be in anybody's way, I hope. Okay. So now, the problem at hand, fitting it into here nicely. So everything will have to be cut to size, unfortunately. And however many ingredients I have, we alternate. So if I have 5 ingredients, each 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacked together, about the same size, and it goes in here. Separated by ginkgo nuts and meatballs. That's the gist of it. And everybody, different families, I'm sure that recipe is different families do it differently. They use different materials. Some people use oysters, some people use squid. What else? Different things instead for the protein, and the vegetables all different, whatever is in season. I'm just cutting it to the watercress to some sort of a decent size, little rectangles maybe. That will go with the fish. Okay, so that's the story. And alternating vegetables and protein, basically. That's what we do. Okay, so I don't know why, but I always start with the fish and grab a little watercress. Everything's sort of yellowish, so you can't really tell, but shrimp, and a zucchini, right? And there's green onions. I did the same way. Just coated it in flour and put it on the pan. So the green onions can go, maybe 3 of them sideways. So just like that. So it'll go stand up, sort of stand up in the pot. Sideways. I'm having a hard time. I don't know if you can see this, but after I fill it a little bit, you'll be able to see, and I'll show you it's better. So that's what we do. So we continue. And I think Karina's gonna have to help me with this. 3, 4, maybe you can do it in the kitchen too. So I make a little stack and I put it next to, oh no, it goes the other way. So I have green onions, zucchini, shrimp, watercress, and fish. That's the order. So the green onions will go next to the other fish and it'll just keep filling up. So this is the way I'm filling it up. Can you see the inside of it? Can you see that?
Yes.
Right. So it'll just go all the way around and maybe 2 layers even, and then pour the soup. So that's what's happening. And then the meatballs will go sort of like a garnish on top of this, like in between each section, meatballs, and then the ginkgo nuts, or on top, a little ring. So that's what happens. What time is it?
11:42.
Okay, great. Okay, Karina. Okay, you're on. Excuse me. Isn't that a lot of work? Because you have to make all of this John, you know. And John is a dish we eat on festive occasions. Like New Year's, we always have different kinds of John, not in the soup, you know. So it's good. I personally like oysters. Not everybody does. Oysters come out really well. And scallops. Scallops are just beautiful. Yeah, so things like that. And then any vegetable you can turn into a John. Anything. So normally, just for daily, we do little meatballs that are flat. Just meatballs, but flat. They look like little hamburgers. I shaped that into a little hamburger, and then we have that. It's called alisam. There's a different name for that. And zucchinis, we just cut them in rings, and then do the same thing, flour and egg. That's sort of the basic normal ones we eat all the time. Yeah, it's tasty. And then you eat it with, you have a little soy sauce and a little bit of vinegar. Yeah, just for taste. So it's a very simple taste and nothing spicy here today. I know last time it was a little high on the spicy chart there.
What is your broth?
Oh, okay, I'll explain. Okay, I will explain the broth. Yeah, last time it was just so spicy. I'm sorry.
Spicy is good.
Spicy was good? Who said that? Yeah, I know Beth can eat very spicy. Yeah, she can. Really. I think more than me sometimes. She's really something. Okay, so the soup is, I cooked sort of like a bone broth. So I buy short rib leftovers at the Korean market. It's not pretty, the short ribs, but it has the bone and the meat, and it's the end or the rough cut ones, and they sell a package of it, and it's much cheaper than the package of short ribs. So I use 1 package of good short ribs for the meat, and I'll explain why, and then 2 packages of this bone stuff, and I cooked it since yesterday. It was on low for 24 hours. So, and I put an onion in there, lots of garlic, and then we have this Korean soy sauce. Last time I think I Did I explain the Korean soy sauce last time? Do you remember? Yeah, I think I did, huh? It's color is lighter, so if you put it in soup, it doesn't make the soup dark, but it has the same saltiness. So, Carissa, can you bring me that Korean soy sauce bottle?
Yeah.
I'll show you. So it's very handy for soups and vegetables that you don't want to change color and be dark. So it's a Korean brand, and it says soy sauce for soup. Yeah. So it usually says something like that in English. So I use it for most soups, and it has a little different taste than a regular soy sauce. I think it's a little bit funkier, but you know, when you have a bone broth that's so, you know, overwhelming, it doesn't do anything. So it works. So that's what I use. And the reason why for the meat in there today is because after this, the third dish that it's, I think I gave you a recipe. It's rice cake soup. We usually eat that New Year's, like sort of like ozoni in Japan, but it's the Korean version of ozoni, I guess. And we're gonna have that today as our lunch. So because everything else is just a little taste. So, yeah. So then in order to do that, I use the same bone broth and for that soup, and the meat becomes the garnish, the short ribs. So that's why I cook it all together. So it's kind of easier to do that today. Yeah. Sounds good, huh? Yeah. So, any questions at this point?
Is that hot pot just one size?
Oh, you know, they have individual ones also for the royalty, you know. I actually have a couple that's silver that's about this big. But, you know, it's really for one person. It's pretty, and I didn't have silver polish, so I couldn't polish it today. So I'll show you. I'll send you a picture next time I polish it or something. It's kind of cool, you know. And that one's out of silver, so you have to be careful. You can't pick it up when it's heated. So yeah, it comes in different sizes, but I think that's about the average size. Yeah, I don't think it gets bigger than that. Yeah.
And how many people is that serving?
Oh gosh, you know, I don't know, 5 or 6 if that's all you're eating. But you know, it's something that the king just took one chopstick bite of it and one spoonful of it, and that was it. So because he probably had 10 other dishes in front of him, you know, that was just, so it's not something that you have an abundance of, but you don't need that pot. Actually, my mother-in-law used to make it in, you know, like a square Pyrex dish that's flat, that has a glass lid. You know, everybody knows that, right? She used to fill the square pot with that checkered nicely, you know, and then fill it with the soup. And then that she could put it in the oven and heat it up. So you can do that. You don't need this fancy, you know, I just wanted to show you what the original was. And no, don't go out and buy one. If you ever would like to try to serve it in something like that, you can borrow that one from me. You don't have to go buy one, you know? Yeah. So, but yeah, so you can do it in a regular dish. So it's wonderful. So it works out well, you know? Okay. So, what? Oh, of course. Let me use my knife and my fingers. You run out, just improvise.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna bring the filled pot out here, and then maybe they can serve it. So while I'm demonstrating the second dish, you can enjoy it, you know, because it's just something you can taste. So you get to taste it right away. And if we wait till the end, it'll just get cold again anyway. So, okay. So the second dish I wanted to show you is called pan. And ku is ku, like Q, like 9, right? Yeah. So the original Korean dish has 8 compartments around and 1 in the middle. So it's 9 little compartments. Unfortunately, I couldn't find mine from the move. I don't know which box it's in, I couldn't find. So I have borrowed a couple, which doesn't turn out to be 9, but I think it's gonna work. We're gonna make it work. This one is Beth's. She lent it to us today. This is a Japanese one, and it's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 in the middle. See, and each one has a little, it's really lovely. So we can do that. So that's nice. That's one. And the other one is a Korean one with blacker. This is very typical. Sometimes it's red background, sometimes it's, oh, I should come over here, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's red for festive occasions. So Jill somehow knew and put a red tablecloth on for us. Yeah. So this one has a broken top, but this one has 4 on the outside and 1 in the middle, and it's square, it's not round. This is actually for snacks like nuts and candy and things like that. But we're gonna put half, so that'll be 8, and then somehow I'll make a small pancake if we go in there. So that's what we're gonna do. So, but as you see in the recipe, I picked this recipe because the reason why I liked it was because she shows it on a regular plate. You can just make it on a regular plate. So I thought that's really cool. You know, you don't have to have these fancy dishes. You can just make it on a big plate and put 8 things around with the little pancakes we're gonna make in the middle. So, see? So I brought this big dish. So we're gonna do that. So, okay? So, things that go in there. Of course, now this again will vary from house to house. So, we have shrimp. Ah, yes. Do you wanna put it over here and then? Huh? Yeah. Oh, well, it's gonna be hard for you to carry. Just bring the broth in a pot and pour it. It's gonna be hard. So, let's see. There's shrimp. Same shrimp, but I'll show you. I cut it up into, everything for this next dish will be in little matchsticks.
Wow.
That's what it is. Everything has to fit into these little compartments. Everything becomes matchsticks. So the shrimp, and we'll finish making the egg. I'll show you how to do that. Eggs, we separate into yellow and white so that we have a yellow one. And this is very color coordinated. So, yes. So, brown, 2 brown things, meat, also in little slivers, and marinate it just like bulgogi, which is basically soy sauce, sesame oil, garlic, little sugar. That's about it, basically. So if you look up bulgogi marinade, you can use that on this. And it's just little pieces of short ribs that I cut into little slivers. And then I marinated it first, and then I just pan fried it. So that's it. And then the other brown thing is shiitake mushrooms. Nice, we have all these variety of color in nature, and shiitake is already shaped like that, so you just slice it. It works really well. So that. Oh, by the way, this dish is served just coldish or room temperature, but not heated. So the other thing is, turn this back on. Okay. Pine nuts. I'll explain the pine nuts later. Okay. And 2 green things. 2 brown, 2 green. One is a cucumber skin. Does everybody know how to do a cucumber, peel the skin like the sushi chefs do? So English cucumbers work the best. And of course, everything has to be about this size, right? So you have to take a sharp knife and really be careful with your fingers. But this is what the sushi chefs do, right? Yeah, so you start somewhere, and then you just have to roll it around and take the skin off the cucumber, basically. So don't do it in the dark. I did this last night and it was very pretty, actually. So you just take the skin off of the cucumber. Here we are, like that. And then I'll take it and slice it into the matchsticks. Can you see? I have so many things in front of me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can't see the, we need the aluminum foil.
Aluminum foil. This is in the way?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. We'll do that.
Now it's good.
Now it's good. Okay. So just matchsticks as thin as you can, I guess. It's basically matchsticks like that. So, okay. And what I did with the cucumbers is I sauteed it in the frying pan with a little bit of salt and sesame oil, just a little bit, and not too much, just enough to take the stiffness out of the cucumber, just enough to wilt it. You don't want to cook it completely. So that's what it is. We don't need the fresh one. Okay, so that's the other green. Since I had zucchini, I used the zucchini, and same thing. So zucchini and carrots, I do the same way. So you take the zucchini or the carrot, and you slice diagonally, so you get these long, you know. And if you cut it this way down, some parts will be all the outside and some parts will be all the inside. But this way you get a mix of everything about the carrot, right? If you cut it diagonally. So you slice it diagonally, like so. And then, again, little matchsticks. There's a lot of Korean food that require this kind of cut all the time. Everybody know japchae, right? It's a sauteed vegetable with noodles, and everything is cut like this. Yeah, and similar ingredients too, actually. Very similar ingredients. So, little matchsticks again. And I also did the same thing, sauteed it in the frying pan with a little bit of sesame oil and salt. No pepper, no soy sauce. It'll change color. Okay, so there's my carrots. There we go. So this is slightly sauteed. You know, a little bit of crunch is okay too. And the pine nuts, we're gonna make the little wrapper, like a small, I don't know, taco, I guess, but it's wheat. We're gonna make little round things. And in order for them not to stick to each other, I roasted the pine nuts. I pan fried the pine nuts, and you put one in between each layer so it doesn't stick. So that's what the pine nuts are for. So, okay, I will show you. So I made these eggs earlier, the yellow part of the egg, and I just poured it on the griddle. And the white part of the egg is not as pretty because it has bubbles, but it's white. So yes, you separate the eggs. So then you just, I lost something. Oh, here it is. Here. So I've separated the eggs here from earlier. And so I'm going to just pour it onto the griddle. There you go. And the yellow part. Yeah, feel free to come and take a picture of that. We haven't added the soup, but of the chinsolo before we eat it.
So Sunny, what age at a time?
What?
Do you do what age at a time?
No, I think we had 3 eggs altogether. I mixed it all up. I just left enough to make one pancake to show you. So that's all. So the egg white is always bubbly, so it doesn't come out as sleek. But you know, once you slice it up, you can't really tell. So you don't want it to get brown like that. So you want to turn it pretty quickly. It's like pancakes. As soon as the edges looks like they're firmer, you can turn it. There we go. And then we slice it. Like everything else in this dish, it has to be sliced. So yes. Did I say labor intensive? I did.
Yes. Yeah.
So I want it to be sort of matchsticks. So I'm going to cut these eggs into half and then do matchsticks a little diagonally so that they will sort of be. Here we go. There, little matchsticks, basically. Okay. Oh, maybe we didn't make enough eggs. Oh, well. Eggs are always popular in this dish. The children like the eggs for some reason. And the white part, that one's getting dark. Whites, I got a lot.
Why you have yellow and white color?
For the color, right. You got to fill the 8 compartments somehow, right? You run out of things, you know, and you want it to do, and the shrimp and the egg white will be considered the white. So you want to do pairs of white, the carrot and the yellow egg, yellowish, orangish, and then the green, the 2 greens and the 2 browns. That's right. Yeah. And then there's a white thing in the middle. So it's pretty. Like the picture, you should have a picture there, right? So yeah, so that's what it is. So it's for looks. I'm not sure about the taste, but it's for looks. Everything the king got was, you know, looked very beautiful, right? So, oh, and the king, I think we talked about this at K-Drama maybe, huh? But the king had a royal taster so that he wouldn't be poisoned, right? And the reason why I'm sharing my silverware with you today, you get to use, who are here, I'm sorry, everybody at home, but you get to use a silver spoon and silver chopsticks, and let's see if you can eat with silver chopsticks. It's not the easiest thing, but the king always ate with silver because when silver touches a poison, it turns black. Also turns black with egg, but it turns black with most poisons. So if the taster failed his job, that will be his last taste, obviously. But that's what happens. So I think we do have wooden chopsticks. It's okay if you can't eat with the silver chopsticks because it's difficult. Maybe can I borrow yours so we can show it to the people on Zoom? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so they're just silver, and it's not the easiest thing to use. So you have a hard time. There. It's really not the easiest thing to use, and it's heavy and slippery, and it's just not very. Oh, and the spoon. Well, the spoons now, these are sort of modern. These are Western style shaped spoons. They're oval. The Korean ones were more round and flatter, you know, but and then they usually had decorations like cloisonné on the end, you know, hand painted. So it's kind of fun. Thank you. So let me just check.
The broth is already in there.
It's not in there yet.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Oh.
It is.
Then we should.
Okay,
Karina? Karina? Would you like to serve the
oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay, so okay, now we have to do the hard part here. This is the most difficult part for me. Is wipe this down a little bit. We have to make the little pancakes. And this one is, I don't know, trial and error. Sometimes it just doesn't work, but in the end, it's like making pancakes. The first one is no good, you know, that kind of concept. Let me get the first. I'll be right back. Okay.
That's a challenge.
You want to make sure they got everything.
Kathy behind you. Kathy,
Okay, thank you for your patience. So this is basically just flour and water with a little bit of salt. So I think about half a cup of flour with 3/4 cup of water and a pinch of salt. And that's all it is. Now, my mother-in-law used to mix this and put it in the refrigerator overnight. And I don't know the difference. So I quit doing that. Yeah, I couldn't see the difference. Maybe in the olden days or back then, the flour wasn't as, I don't know. I don't know. The flour, I don't know. I don't know why she did that, but she did that. Maybe it makes for a finer. Don't take my picture.
Do they use regular wheat flour or
Yes.
rice flour?
This one is wheat flour because rice flour will get kind of sticky, I guess. This is a different kind of thing. So it's just regular flour, and it's kind of becomes like the consistency of tempura batter, I think. Yeah, just about. Not too thin, little lumpy. It's okay, I think. So now, this is the most challenging part, and I don't know if it's going to turn out well, and if it doesn't, I'm sorry. But we'll have something, I guess. So you basically take a teaspoon, because it's going to be small. It has to be small. So a teaspoon of it, and put it on the griddle, and then you kind of press it around to make it into flatten it out to make it into a size. I think this was too small, but that's the concept. Okay, that's too small. We're gonna graduate to a tablespoon. So it's already cooking, I can tell, it's almost done. So and you just spread it out to about the size that you want. Or the other way that I end up making it is you make it really big, lazy man's way. You make it really big, spread it out. There, see, you see it's already cooking. That one's already cooked. So I think those are a little too thick. This might be too thick. I might have to add more water, but it's okay. So you make it big, and then, when it's done, that one's done. That's a miniature one. Somebody with a miniature taste. So this one is quite large. I will move it over here. Here we go. See, it doesn't take long. It's just momentary. And then I have this, my favorite little There's a lot of it that goes to waste, sort of this way, but that's just the way it is. And then you get a nice pancake that's manageable, and you can put a lot of stuff on it, but it won't fit into the container, so this one's gonna go here. And then this is where the pine nuts come in. Put 3 pine nuts. Korean people like to do everything in odd numbers. So do Japanese, actually, right? 3, 5, 7, so we'll do 3. Yeah, Korean people do that too. Yeah. So So everybody knows about Korean banchan. It's anything that besides rice, soup, and kimchi that's in front of you. It's all banchan. It's everything that goes with your rice, soup, and kimchi. So if you're poor, that's all you'll be eating: rice, soup, and kimchi. But you know, you get a little noblemen, they'll have all these different things. And so there is a set number. I think you start from 5 or 7 different banchan, and depending on the celebration, you can go all the way up to 13 or 15. But it's always in odd numbers. So yeah, and it's arranged. And then each set, like let's say we pick 9 banchan, there's a certain things you have to have, like fish and this meat, you know. So there's an order to that too. So the king would always get one of those, depending on the day. A normal blah day, maybe he'll get 7, but on a big celebration, he might get 15. And each person, nobleman, used to get their own table. You've seen that in the Korean dramas, I'm sure, right? Each personal table arranged that way and brought down. So, they never eat? They're too busy discussing politics or something, right? Yeah. So anyway, I think everybody here just got a little bowl of the shinsolo. So it's just a little taste, just to see. And I'm going to continue making the pancakes so we have enough for everybody. So, questions, comments?
How many eggs total have you utilized?
4?
Only 4?
No, for what? For the,
Everything.
oh, for everything?
Yeah.
About a dozen, I guess. Yeah, I think I might have 1 or 2 eggs left. No, about a dozen, I guess. Yeah. The chon takes up a lot of egg, as you see. Yeah. It takes up a lot of egg. So anyway, and then, you know, oh, I didn't do it today, but a very common ingredient for shinsolo is liver. They slice it thin and then coat it in flour and egg also. So, yeah. Beef liver, yes. You know, Korean people, there's a lot of Korean folks that don't like chicken. Yeah. Nowadays it's different, but just they didn't eat very much chicken. Beef or pork even was okay, but not.
And the cake on they say you like fried chicken.
Oh yes, the Korean fried chicken is a very popular thing. It's the trick to the Korean fried chicken is it's double fried. Right. So I think the definition of Korean food is labor intensive. Seems like it just takes a long time. You know? They're making some more pancakes.
What do you call the pancakes?
In Korean? I don't know. What does it say in your recipe?
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
It doesn't give a recipe.
Oh, it doesn't? It should. I thought I saw it somewhere.
It does, but it doesn't name it, never can.
Oh, it doesn't name it. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, right.
I'll find out and let you know. I don't profess to know everything. And I don't know everything. Okay, so another layer of the pancake goes on the dish. Oh, that's about the same size. Yay.
So it's about the size of a plate.
It's smaller. It's much smaller, you'll see, as you get closer. Yeah. The thinness is about a crepe. I think these today might be a little thicker than what my mother-in-law would have liked. But is that okay that I'm over here? Carol, thank you. You're following me around. Thank you. So, because if it's too small, you know, you can't wrap anything in it, obviously. See, and they tend to want to stick to each other. So, at least we should have enough for everybody to try one, and then we can continue making more if you like. Or you can try making it yourself, the pancakes.
It's good.
It's an experience.
How do you say oishi? Oishi in Korean.
Oh, oishi in Korean is mashiso. Mashiso. Yeah, mat is taste. So isso means there is. So there is taste. Good. I'm glad you like it. So, I don't know. Anybody want to try making some pancakes? Don't be shy. Come on up. No? Nobody's going to make it? Too busy eating. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It gets better as you make a few, you know. It doesn't need oil either. I don't know. I think it says it might need oil in the recipe, but I never put oil down. And when you put oil, like pancakes again, it gets bubbly kind of, you know, and it's not pretty. The second or third pancake is always prettier than the first, right? So, same thing, I think. But you know, me and all my kids actually we like manual repetitive labor. So we don't, you know, you don't think about it, you just kind of do it. We all seem to enjoy it in our own ways.
Japchae uses half the ingredients of this dish.
Japchae? Well, you could put all kinds of stuff in japchae, but these days it's simplified. Right, it's simplified these days, so, you know. Okay, so, will you finish this thing? Thank you, my dear. I'm gonna fill this plate because it'll be easier to take things. Okay, so again, the color, right? Okay, so if I start with the meat on one side, but imagine there's compartments. But the recipe I shared with you, that's the only one that I saw up to now that actually used a plate. So then the other brown color goes right on the other side, right? So you just keep doing that. Mushrooms were sauteed the same way. A little bit of mushrooms, I put a little bit of soy sauce because I wanted it to be brown like the meat. And then sesame oil, and that's all that was. So now this is, you have to have patience to eat this dish too. Because you have to put a little bit of some on each pancake and wrap it up, you know? Yeah, so this is patience. Of course, the king had somebody to do that, I'm sure, you know, but we don't. So you have to do it yourself. So then the colors kind of go well, right? And then the yellow one goes on the other side of the other brown, like so. See, it's vivid, you know, it's very pretty. Yeah, so then we'll go, green maybe, huh? Okay, so these are the cucumbers. And like I said, you can use anything color-wise. I've actually seen this dish with a purple cabbage. Totally different from what the colors they used to use, which was really something. So, and then the zucchini, and then I'm going to pass this around. Oh, after I make the sauce. And then you can pass it around. It'll take a while, so I'll make a couple more. Okay, what did I miss? Oh, the shrimp. Okay, so we'll put this, the white egg, in between these dark colors. There we go. It's getting there. One more.
Is the red cabbage, you said, is that like the new trend? or
Maybe.
fusion?
It's a totally different color, right? It's purple.
Wow, that would be
Yeah.
really-
Totally different color. Now, where would you put it on this ring? I don't know. But I did see one. So the shrimp is just sliced up. This is thicker, but you know, it's just sliced up also. So
So that's not cooked, the shrimp?
the shrimp is cooked, but it's not flavored. I just boiled the whole package of shrimp, basically. That's all. Okay. So now that's what it looks like. Yeah. So it's actually pretty in a dish too. Yeah. So Carol, can you just put this there and then I'll make the sauce. Oh, thank you, Jerry. I'll make the sauce and you can, Jerry, you're number one. You can start. I'll be right back with the sauce.
Should I bring this into the kitchen? I'm sorry, should I bring this back into the kitchen? Or unless they want more. Okay. Who would like more? Who would like more of the soup? Oh. I think they want the second course. Okay, well, I'll take care. Oh, that is warm. Oh.
Okay, now the sauce is just, it could be anything you want, actually. I usually just like soy sauce and sesame oil. And if the soy sauce is too thick, you can add water or meat. But a lot of the recipes want you to add hot mustard. You can add mustard, but I'm not going to add it today. My mother and mother-in-law didn't like it, so we never had mustard in ours. So
What is the portion of soy sauce for sesame oil?
this much and this much. To take, just to your taste. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, just to your taste. Yeah.
Sunny, when do you put the sauce on
Afterwards, after you put like, you know, a little bit of each of that on your pancake.
All of it's supposed to fit in this little thing?
Yes, so plan ahead because you might not have enough room, right? So please plan ahead. And
So are all these cooked, like carrots are cooked and cucumber?
everything is cooked. Cucumber, carrots, everything is cooked. Zucchini, yeah, everything's cooked. I don't know why I had to look to tell you that, but everything is cooked. How you doing?
Oh, I have a question, please.
Yes,
Do you have a Korean market that you recommend, or that you always?
yes, there's one in Los Angeles.
There's one in San Jose.
There's one in
But
San
one
Jose.
closer?
H Mart in San Francisco, Daly City. Well, Koreana Plaza is the closest one, but I try not to go there for some
Where
reason.
is that?
It's on Telegraph and 24th, and that's where I usually have to go. But, yeah, but these days, since the Korean cooking is become so popular, everybody has, even Yaoya-san has a lot of Korean things. Yes, we found out. So, and Berkeley Bowl has a much larger section for Korean things. So I really don't have to go to the Korean market. Oh, and there's the Solano Superette, the Korean Superette. They don't have everything, but they have enough, I think. Yeah. So, yeah. Huh? H Mart is in Dublin, also, Karina says. Oh, it's coming to Dublin, so that might be closer for you. H Mart in Dublin also. Okay. Well, there has been a question proposed to me somewhere. I heard, I think it was at the catering group, where somebody said, can we have a tour going to H Mart in San Francisco? I don't know. I'd be glad to go, but
Where is it?
it's in South Daly City. It's close to Daly City, I think. I don't know. Yeah, it's I'm not sure. I'm gonna finish this and start this from this end, okay?
Oh, thank you.
There's a closet in San Jose.
Shopping Plaza in San, yes, there's one there too. I don't know the name of that place. Do you, Karina, do you know the name? Which one? The San Jose one?
Korean store.
There's a, it's called the Hanguk.
Oh, Hamburg Market. That's on Santa Clara Boulevard. It's not quite San Jose.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
but
El Camino Real.
that's it. El Camino Real. That's right.
Lawrence Expressway.
Yes. That's a pretty decent sized market.
Because there's a really good tofu soup place.
Oh, is that right? You don't like the tofu place here?
I haven't tried it.
Oh, there's a place called, what is it called? Pyeongchang
Tofu house.
Tofu House. There's one on University in Berkeley and one on Telegraph.
Oh, and it's good.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. And then, yeah, that one's pretty good actually. And, Gangnam Tofu in El Cerrito is also good. Yeah, their food is authentic, I should say.
Is that the one on San Pablo Avenue?
Yes,
Yes.
past the Del Norte station, right? That one can be very crowded though. Yeah. Is everybody testing their patience over there? What do you think? Oishi desu ka? Yeah, it is, but hey, when do I do this anymore? Both my mother-in-law and my mother has passed. They don't demand it anymore, so. Yeah, would you like a bigger pancake? Yeah, it's dainty food, isn't it? Too dainty. I don't know, are they gonna fit in this? Okay. Okay. Get stuck. What did I do with that? Chat. Did I lose which one? Which one? Oh, here. It's right. Oh, you're trying to, so good. Anybody else want to try a pancake to make one? Carissa's trying. Okay, so I guess the king is pleased now with his 2 dishes. So now it's our turn to feed ourselves. So with the leftover ingredients that went into the king's 2 dishes, we're gonna have a more homey dish, and it's the rice cake soup. So, what? No. So the rice cake soup is basically a beef broth, so the same broth as that was in the shinsolo, and rice cakes that are sliced differently than the last tteokbokki. It's same rice cake, but sliced differently. So, and that's in a soup, with a garnish of the beef short ribs and egg and green onions, something like that.
How do you pronounce this, please? Korean rice cake soup?
Dokguk.
What?
Dokguk. Dok is the rice cake. Dokguk. Kuk is soup. So anything kuk is a soup.
Sunny?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have to leave. I have to get to my grandson's soccer games.
Oh, yay, soccer. Yes, I have a grandson with soccer too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Did you get to taste this one?
Yes, I did.
Good,
Thank you
okay.
very much.
Thank you for coming. Bye. She won't get the soup. Here it comes. Dokguk. Dokguk. Yeah, dokguk. Dok is rice cake. And kuk is soup. So, yeah, I don't know. Does anybody on Zoom have any questions or comments or whatever? No? Do pipe in if you have, or put it in the chat and Jill can help us with it. I'm sure. So I bet they're hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, anyone from
Nice.
Zoom?
Can I ask a general question?
Yes.
How do you maintain your knife precision?
Nice what?
Knife. Sharpening.
Oh, sharpening.
Yeah.
This one is a new knife and it's very sharp. I don't know what brand this is. It was so sharp. I was so surprised. It's called Pure Komachi 2. Pure Komachi 2. No, it's not. It's metal. It's just coated. But it's so sharp. But I usually take it to, what is that place on San Pablo? The Japanese place. I usually, he did, yeah. I usually take all my knives there. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. There's, here you are. Look at that. Oh yeah, please, that'd be great. And please enjoy the dokguk. It's just, yeah, please. I think that'd be good. Oh, the off should be, oh, there's no, that's on, so the other way. There. This is where the indicator is.
Oh, okay. Sunny, did you make all this?
What did I make? No. Oh, here. I'll show you. Is there a bag? It comes from the Korean market. And it comes like, it's already sliced into ovals. So it comes like this. And you can freeze this whole bag. So you can keep it for a while. This one, oh, yeah, so this one, there is a place in Hayward that is, they make all the rice cakes from scratch and they sell it fresh there, but they didn't, I called them and they didn't have any fresh ones this morning. Yeah, so if you buy fresh ones that's just sliced, you don't have to cook them very long, you know. But these were cooked separately outside of the broth in water, and then because it tends to cloud the soup. Oh, okay. Gail has a question. I have a shinsolo pot at home, yay, and was wondering how to use it. Do I put charcoal in the middle to cook? Or since all the ingredients are already cooked, is the charcoal just to keep it warm? Yes, it's just to keep it warm. I put a tea light underneath, and you know, what are those things called? Sterno? Sterno works well too, but charcoal is hard to handle, you know? But if you want to do it, please. Since everything is cooked, like you say, it's just to keep it warm. Right. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for the question.
Sunny, is this broth the same one as
Yes, it is. So it's just short rib bones, short ribs, onion, garlic, salt, and the Korean soy sauce. What?
What kind of kimchi?
Oh, the radish kimchi here. Okay. Do we make? Yeah, put the kimchi in the soup. It's really good. Yeah. I made some kimchi for the folks here, and it's the daikon. It's just daikon cut into cubes, and there's a very good. You like? There's a very good recipe that's easy on maangchi.com. MAANGCHI.com. And I think last time I shared recipes from there. Today I decided to share from other websites, so you can take a look at other websites. But Maangchi has a very good, and it's called kaktugi. But I think it comes up if you say radish kimchi. Kaktugi, it's called kaktugi with 2 Ks. So, and that's very easy. Yeah. The kaktugi, yeah. Very. Well, oh, the other one that I gave you before? Oh, I think this one might be easier because the other one, this is only one ingredient. The other one has all kinds of things in there you have to go get. You know, an apple, a pear, a radish, cucumber, green onions, this and this and this. It's refreshing for the summer, but this one is actually easier, I think. And I made it on, when did I make it? Tuesday? Monday or Tuesday? Oh no, maybe it was Sunday. And then I put it right away into the refrigerator. Usually when you make kimchi, you leave it outside for a couple days to ferment, and then you put it in the refrigerator. But I put it in the refrigerator right away because I knew I wanted to bring it today, and it seems to be pretty perfect today. Right, Buzzy? Is it good?
Excellent.
Oh, you like it. I know you like it. What? Excellent? I don't know. Thumbs up is good, I think. If that works in every language. Mashisto. Mashistoyo. Yeah. Mashistoyo. Yeah, so. Cool. There's more pancakes here if you need more. So I know it was just a little taste, but okay. Does anybody on Zoom have any more questions? I know we finished earlier than I expected, actually. I thought it would take a full 2 hours, but it didn't, huh? Yeah. So. Oh, the nori if you like. Oh, there's rice also if you like some rice. You can eat the rice with the nori. There's some rice behind you, Haruka-san, if you need rice. But I wasn't sure if you wanted rice or not. So, but you're welcome to take your seaweed home. Oh, I'll tell everybody on Zoom. I shared a individual package of seaweed. It's seasoned actually with sesame oil and salt. The Korean version is sesame oil and salt for everything, right? So Japanese usually has a more teriyaki kind of flavor. So these are great. So yeah. Yeah, pass it around. No? Here. Pass it around. Look, Beth, your container is working really well. Here.
Is this for each province, or what was the relationship
Oh.
of that?
Relationship of the number, the 8? Yeah, it was supposed to be something, an ingredient from each province or something of one of the kings, and yeah.
Would that change every year?
I don't know, it got settled on that one, and the dish hasn't changed, but it was interesting that the Japanese version is 7 and not 9, and yeah. Too bad I couldn't find the original Korean one, but maybe someday. Yes, Koreans like it too, but in China, I think it's really.
Oh, multiple.
Yeah, 888, they love it, right? Yeah, yeah, they do, the 8s. They really like the 8s. So, yeah. So if you're really hungry, this is not a dish that you can be patient to eat the kujarpan because you have to sit there and put the little bit, you know. I think my kids always had the problem of putting too much in the pancake and then it fell apart before it got to their mouth. So they learned the hard way. Okay. Okay, Jill, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Maybe next, I don't know if there's going to be a next time, but I would love to see
Thank you.
It's always fun.
It was very nice.
Chanmaneo. Haruko-san said, 감사합니다. Thank you in Korean. So I said, chanmaneo. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Bye, everyone. See you soon. Bye.